Hi, Nick. Okay, so today we're going to do suffixes. So you will see that inside of the description, it tells you to go to Brain Pop this time. Make sure you go to Brain Pop, not Brain Pop Junior. And you're going to search for the video called Roots, Prefixes, and Suffixes. So we've already talked about prefixes, so this will be a really good review about prefixes. Now, prefixes, you notice that in the word prefix, it actually has a prefix in it. Pre, which means before, which will kind of give you a hint about that this prefix goes before the word. Okay, now the suffix is the exact opposite. It goes towards the end of the word. So pause here, go to Brain Pop and watch that video, and then come back. Okay, so go ahead and get out your word study journal, and inside of there I want you to update your table of contents, and you're going to add today's title, suffixes. Okay, so pause here, do that, and then come back. Alright, so suffixes, so let's talk about what they are. So go ahead and write it on your paper, and we're going to do just like we did with prefixes. So the suffixes, prefix goes at the beginning of the word, suffix goes to the end. Okay. Now, while the prefixes change the meaning of the word, these just kind of add to it. Okay, so when I say add to it, so let's take the word box. And if you have more than one box, you have two boxes. Well, your suffix is the es, is the es, making it plural. And of course, if it's not es, it is s, making it plural. And both of those are suffixes. Okay? Other suffixes that we talk about are used with verbs. And if yesterday you might have, or today, I want you to learn something, but yesterday you might have learned something else. You learned. So it happened in the past. Well, what did we add to the end? We added that ed. Because it happened in the past. And the same thing, maybe, and right now, you are learning about suffixes. So what did we add to the root word learn? Ing, meaning that is happening now. Or you could even use it in the future, so ing. Okay, so these two are plural, making it plural. And these two tells when it happened. Now the same thing goes with adjectives. So you can add adjectives. Remember we talked about adjectives describe nouns. So adjectives describe something. So you may have a funny toy, okay, or a blue bunny, something like that. So you can use those kind of words to describe nouns. Well, you can add suffixes at them to describe a noun as well. So you may have a loving mom, using the ing, or you may have a lovely mom. And all it does is it just describes them, okay? So we're going to add a couple more that we're going to work with. We're going to add full, which means it has, or with, less, which means without, okay, so if you have if you have a box of crayons, you have a very colorful box of crayons because it has colors, or it is with a lot of different colors, okay? Or you could have a colorless sheet of paper, like the ones that or your coloring book. So before you color in it, it is colorless because you don't have color inside of it, right? It's without color. Okay? Some more would be on there. We're going to go ahead and add. We've got our S. We're going to add our ER. And usually we add our ER meaning that there's more. So, you are strong. Let's say that we're having a competition. And we actually did this in class. We had 3 boys who were seeing how many dictionaries they could hold. So one boy was strong. The other boy may have, so one boy held like, I think 10 dictionaries. So he was strong, of course. The dictionaries are huge. But another boy held 12. So he was stronger than the first boy. And the third boy, let's say that he held 14. Well, he's the strongest of the 3. Okay, so it just means more, and it just the most. Okay, so the second boy held more, so he was stronger, and the third boy held the most, so he was strongest. Okay, so go ahead and pause here and update that in your notes, and I'll move out of the way so you can do that. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing that we did for the prefixes. We're going to build those words, okay? Remember on that one we did 4 columns. Okay, so we have the meaning, this time we're going to do the root word, because it goes first, because the suffix goes after it. Then we do the suffix, and the new word. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my lines on there, that way I'm ready. You already have yours. Okay, so we're going to do 3 together, and then I want you to do the rest on your own, okay? So the first one, we're going to do full for our suffix. Remember, full means with. The next one we're going to do less. Remember that one is like colorless, so it doesn't have any, so it's without. The next one we're going to do is ED, which means it happens in the past. Okay, so the first root word we're going to add is color. So if it is colorful, it is with color or has color. Okay, let's do the same thing with less. So if it is colorless, meaning it does not have color. Okay. And yesterday, or before you watched this video, you learned about prefixes. So you learned. So the root word is learned. Yesterday, or before this video, when you watched it, you learned about prefixes, so you learned about them in the past. It happened in the past. So your new word is learned. Okay. Now I'm going to write the meaning over here. Okay. I want you to put the suffix that goes with the root word and make the new word. Okay. So here are your words. So your word is, and these may have some new ones because there are several of them that we have not yet covered. So I want you to see if you can, which one will go with it. Okay. There you go. suffixes you're going to work with are re, are ed, ing, and mint. Okay. And here are the ones I want you to do. So this one is going to be, it happened in the past. This one is going to be, it is happening now or the future. Okay. This one describes as a hint. Think about what we use these words with describing. It describes the action. Okay. And this one is an emotion. Okay. So pause here and let's see if you can match them up. So let's start with here. So you can even just kind of use your elimination technique that we've used before. So excite me, that doesn't make sense. And you know that ed happened in the past, ing happened now, so the only thing left is mint. So your suffix is mint, so your new word is excitement. Okay? So that one was used. Your next one is happening now or in the future, so you can't use ed. And if you weren't sure about ly, you can even just put it in there, see if it makes sense. Duly, we don't really use that, so it can only be doing. Okay. Your last one happened in the past. We know that we add the ed if it happened in the past, so your new word is kicked. And the last one, of course, is ly, and that describes an action. So you quickly left the room, or you quickly went to sleep last night. Describes your action, describes how it went. Okay. Okay, so now you're going to do your inside of your packet that I gave Miss Parson. You have this sheet right here, which is the hiking hints. Yes, hiking hints. Don't worry about the bonus on the bottom. You can do the bonus on the bottom if you'd like to, and and change the classroom into maybe just home. Okay, and you can do those on the back if you'd like. So you're going to use the suffixes up here and plug them in. Now remember, you've got to read the sentence to make sure they make sense, because some of these suffixes will work for different words. Like there's multiple ones that will work for one word, but if it doesn't make sense, it won't. You can't put it in there. Okay. So example would be, I'll show you number 7. If your leader needs you, please be help. Please be a help. Well, we have the suffixes able, full, and less. So you could even make the word, it could be helpable, you could be helpful, you could be a helper, you can be helpless. So all of those words can make all of the suffixes can make a new word, but there's only one that makes sense. If your leader needs you, please be a helpable, no. Helpful, be a helpful, no. Be a helper, yes. So number 7 would be to be a helper. Okay, so we get this done, and that is it for suffixes today. Have a great day. Bye bye.